I mean, the convenience factor is definitely not to be overlooked. It just comes up as a real thing time and time again. It's highly unlikely you're going to drive 90 minutes each way to get your workout in.
We are about to launch
Solo round.
What's up, everybody? Truth, not trend.
Truth, not trends.
It is round 2 of our 2-part mini-series on getting started with your fitness journey. In part 1, we talked about how to pick a personal trainer. And now we're going to talk about, well, what if you're not with a trainer, you're trying to go to a gym or do it on your own? We're going to get into some details about building a home gym or finding a gym nearby, all that good stuff. But first, we got to remind you that who are we?
We are Jesse Schmidt and Liam Bauer, the podcast that helps you maximize your strength as safely
and efficiently
as possible. My name is Jesse Schmidt. I've been a strength coach for 2,489 days, 66 days away from my 7-year train anniversary, and 511 days away from 3,000.
Mr. 3,000. My name is Liam Bauer, and I have been a strength coach for 36 years and still going strong.
That's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
His beard is turning white.
If I had a beard, it would definitely be salt and peppery.
Well, folks, if you're just getting started on your fitness journey, it can be tough to navigate the landscape. So you should definitely stay tuned to listen to this episode. Before we get there, we want to remind you, you do want to be working out on a regular basis, but you also want to be mindful of your nutrition. And
absolutely,
at TNT, we recommend a high protein, whole food diet.
Absolutely.
But you may have some gaps in your nutrition. And if you do, you can check out the supplements that we sell at tntstrength.com. Those supplements, what are they, Liam?
What are those supplements? We have, of course, whey protein. Since we recommend that high protein diet, we got to have a quality protein source just in case you're missing those numbers. You need a quick shake. It's chocolatey good.
Yum, 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 yum.
All those chocolate people out there. We got some fish oil because we want to get those omega-3s every day. I take at least several doses a day. I never miss them. I even take a little extra cod liver oil. Yummy. Can't go wrong with that. Delicious. I take it right out of the bottle.
Oh,
swig it down. And then, of course, we have probiotics. Got that gut health. Keep it in check. Keep those guys happy. Keep that tummy working, humming along. And what else but some creatine monohydrate. Increase your strength. Increase that power output. Feel better and stronger in the gym. Make sure you can solve those New York Times crossword puzzles in the blink of an eye with that mind-muscle connection. And last but not least, we have
the probiotic.
No, I said that.
You said the probiotic.
Yeah, the K2D3.
Ooh, yum.
That's what it is.
Make sure that calcium's getting into your bones.
Yeah, apparently calcium is not really the most important part, but it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. We need calcium for. Actually, calcium's part of the whole way that nerve impulses travel when your muscles contract. But hey, that's a whole nother story.
So there you go. Check them out. TNTstrength.com. Free shipping in the U.S. And they'll come right to your doorstep.
Yes.
Courtesy of TNT.
That's it. Part 2 in our 2-part mini-series about getting started with your fitness journey.
Booyah. Say something like, welcome to part 2 of how to start your fitness journey.
How to start your fitness journey.
And in the last episode, we were talking about how to find the right personal trainer or fitness business to work with, and now we're talking about how to just, if you're going to do it by yourself, how to find the right gym. Maybe.
Yeah, or even if you were going to train at home.
Workout environment, general workout environment.
Yeah.
What do you think, TAKU?
Yeah, I mean, in episode 1, we were talking about finding a trainer specifically, and we had mentioned that we think it's the better, the more personalized, the better, the more one-on-one attention you can get. If you can find studio, like something like ours, where you really have that private connection, that's probably the optimum way to get the most out of it. Working in a large box gym, commercial setting, they do have some trainers. Some of them are quite talented. It's still more challenging. They have less control over their environment. You're dealing with a giant crowd of people that are doing their own thing. It makes it a little more tedious maneuvering, both for you and for your trainer. So a studio is probably a better idea. Now, if you're looking for, just a gym in general, again, it comes back to convenience is always going to be key, right? If it's too far away, you're not likely to stick with it. It needs to meet your budget. It needs to have the basic tools that you need.
Needs to have enough mirrors so you can check yourself out when you flex.
That's right. That's important. You need to have enough space to maneuver with your massive frame of muscles. Wait,
Yeah. So
later.
One thing I would say is, what ultimately, when it comes down to either your strength training workouts or your nutrition, what is the best program for you? It's the one you stick with, right? So we can split hairs about what's optimal for each individual person, but Liam hit on some really important things. So home workouts are very accessible. There's some pros and cons to them, because if you have, all you really need is a pull-up bar, the ground, and I don't even know, maybe that's it. Actually, you could do full body workouts with just a pull-up bar and nothing else if you like doing body weight workouts. One of the drawbacks of home workouts is they're accessible and easy to do, which means they're also easy not to do. So if you are if you have a tough time sort of initiating, then and you need to go somewhere, then getting a gym membership or working with a trainer might be a better option for you.
Yeah, if you do, think about working out at home, I do highly recommend that you try to create, if it's possible for you in your environment, a dedicated space. And even if it's not permanently set up to be the workout space, it's a space that you can easily arrange when needed, so that you always know you can fit the tools that you need there. You can easily, have space to move, to do the things you want to do. Some people have, build garage gyms or basement gyms, or, dedicate a small room. And if not, there's an area that you can quickly and easily arrange for those times. So again, you have less likelihood of not doing it. I don't recommend that you spend a lot of money on, treadmills or Peloton bikes or things like that. Those are the tools that usually, people spend tons of money on.
They become expensive coat racks.
Yeah, they take up space. If you're going to get something, you want to get something that doesn't take up a lot of space, doesn't require a lot of energy, doesn't need the internet. We have an Airdyne bike, which is, the original air style bike made by Schwinn. They've been around for probably at least 80 years, if not more. Showing. And they're amazing. And they're bulletproof. They don't break down. They're not expensive. They don't take up a lot of space. You can use work your whole body on them. Things like that are great if you're going to buy equipment. But strength training, again, is the most important exercise you can do. It has the most bang for your buck. And the most versatile tool out there, in my opinion, is resistance bands. There's different types of resistance bands setups out there. We've recommended some different ones over the years. The two that we use the most are Body Elastics, which probably to me has the most versatility. Simple systems. You can anchor things to your door. You can literally limit it only by your imagination. You can replicate pretty much any movement pattern, any exercise. They take up no space. They don't have any mass. You can't drop them and hurt anything. They're portable. They're easy to put away. You can travel with them. You can create a tremendous amount of resistance. The bands are stackable, meaning you can add and subtract bands to make them harder or easier, depending on the movements. They're not expensive. I mean, probably the number one tool you can get is some band system, and they are one that's been around, stood the test of time. I've been using them since the 90s, and they've only gotten better in that amount of time.
Then you got other stuff like the Harambe system or the X3 bar.
Yeah.
We use those. We like them.
We definitely are fans of the Harambe system. Again, that's a little bit more allowing you to replicate more traditional sort of barbell movements. There's certain advantages to that. It is also highly portable, doesn't take up a lot of space, but it's definitely more expensive and not quite as versatile. ultimately, in my opinion, but it allows you to deliver some very high loads in a very compact. So bands are awesome. They're safe. They're fun. That you can learn to do all kinds of things with them, and you keep your eye on efficiency. Obviously, people get dumbbells and kettlebells and other kinds of things. As Jesse mentioned, you could have just a pull-up bar. Pull-up bars are awesome to have around. They're also inexpensive. Many versions are made to just fit in a standard doorway these days. They don't even need hardware. They work with leverage. You can leave them there permanently or just pop them in and out whenever you need them. And then if you had that with some bands, you basically have an unlimited capacity to strengthen your whole body from head to toe.
Yeah, so those are probably the cheapest ways to get your home gym going. You also could, put a squat rack in your garage or something like that. It'll probably cost you a little more, and you have to learn how to do a squat if you don't already know how to do it already, but maybe you have some more versatility because now you got an Olympic bar and you could do chest presses, bench presses, and deadlifts and rows and all kinds of stuff that you can do with a barbell. So that's pretty cool if that's your cup of tea.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously you got the, guys and gals out there building these, like I said, these garage gyms, or, for lack of a better term, the man cave, setting aside a dedicated space. And there's these days, there's a lot of intelligently designed equipment out there that can fold up. They have these racks that literally can fold out of your wall, kind of like a Murphy bed almost, right?
Yeah.
And so that they can fold away and fold out, and you can replicate all these big bang movements. Again, that's why we like the Harambe. If you're looking for sort of a happy medium, it's very similar to working out with big barbell movements, but in a fraction of the space, but still very high loads and so forth. With some safety benefits, again, you're not dropping big plates. You don't have to invest in a bunch of giant equipment that takes up space. So you got to keep your budget in mind. You got to keep the reality of your personal space in mind. If you live in a small space, or you don't have the ability to dedicate a space, then again, the bands are probably the optimum. The body elastic systems also have like these amazing anchors you can set up. It mounts on any type of doorway and gives you many options of high, low, medium places where you can lock them up and connect. And, now you can move in all these different planes of motion. You can replicate, all the cable type movements. So yeah, very versatile.
Hey, what are those guys doing here? Whenever I feel like I'm stalling out on my bench press, I know I need a new strength curve.
Whether you're stalling out on the road or stalling out in the gym, you need something with great engineering.
That's right. And
So
I
look
want
for the pendulum.
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 Not just your average strength machines.
No, they have smooth strength curves.
Amazing rigidity.
And did we mention the engineering's fantastic?
That's right. Not to mention, they come in cool colors.
Like red.
And silver. Well, that was kind of weird. What was that all about? Back to the interview.
So let's say you don't want to do the home gym, you want to get a gym membership. Let's just say, I don't know, money is, well, we can go through some different options. I mean, I think proximity to your home is pretty important here. So I think you probably should be able to get to and from the gym and do your workout in about an hour. So, and this is coming from, we really believe strongly at TNT about, doing 2 full body workouts a week that last no longer than 30 minutes with a couple of days of rest in between. So, you're spending an hour if you're traveling to the gym, you're spending an hour a week doing the workout, and maybe, 40 minutes to an hour per week getting to and from the gym.
Yeah.
And that's pretty sustainable, right? Because you don't want the reason you fall out of your fitness routine to be because parking's too hard, or it's too far to drive, or, it's, those sort of logistical reasons.
Yeah. I mean, the convenience factor is definitely not to be overlooked. It just comes up as a real thing time and time again, that people want to go someplace that's convenient. Where they can walk there, or they can get there quickly by some form of transportation. It's highly unlikely you're going to drive 90 minutes each way to get your workout in. It's going to end up fading out and being too challenging. There's a reason why these places like Planet Fitness, right? They're highly affordable and have a lot of stuff to play with, right? And again, the gym, Planet Fitness, there's something like that, totally viable as an option. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't have to have any kind of special niche. equipment. It just needs basic strength training equipment. If you're interested in doing conditioning, most gyms have the standard stuff, treadmills, bikes, climbers, steppers, whatever. But again, strength training being the most important activity as far as we're concerned. As long as you can push things, pull things, change your levels up and down in some form, then that's all you need.
And Planet Fitness, it has, all your stock stuff you need. We could get into, workout environment a little bit, right? So we talked about home gym. If you want to just do it by yourself, you don't like being around people. Planet Fitness, they can get pretty busy.
Yes.
It's a quieter environment, I would say, because they literally don't want people, grunting and making loud noises and banging stuff around. So if you kind of like more of a low key setting, but that does get, busy, that can work for you. If you go with, and that's also probably the most economical, option for you. Maybe a small notch up would be 24-hour, and that's, you're going to pay a little more, but also have some more amenities. Like you might have a hot tub or a sauna or a swimming pool or basketball court or something like that. So if you also like those things, that's a good option. And, but you also, that's, since it is a lower price point, you're, during those after work, high traffic times, it's probably going to be very, very packed. And also they don't control that environment quite as much in my experience. So you might deal with a jerk every now and then. And, just the general busyness will be increased. Although they are 24-hour, right? Just kind of like anytime fitness, right there.
Correct. Yeah.
If you need to have that, if you're working graveyard shift and you need to work out at 4 a.m. or something like that, then that might be the option for you. And it's definitely not going to be as crowded at 4 a.m. as it is at 6 p.m. on a weeknight.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing to think about is if you've been paying attention to the podcast or if you're a first-time listener, we would recommend that you go and dig in a little deeper to the stuff that we're recommending. So keep in mind that we recommend, as Jesse mentioned, 2 full-body workouts. We generally just are doing 1 set to failure per exercise, maybe a couple of exercises per muscle group per workout. So we're looking at, 8 to 12 exercises in that 20 or 30 minutes. And an advantage, one of the many advantages to this approach when you learn how to do it, is the fact that when you're in a crowded gym, it's almost like hard for anyone to be difficult with you when you let them know you want to do 1 set and you'll be out of their way in like 60 to 90 seconds, right? Because
they won't believe you.
Yeah, most people you'll find in a commercial setting, you'll have an idea, you'll come in with a plan, and you'll approach any machine you can imagine, and there's somebody camped out on that machine. They may be doing a set, or they may be sitting there staring at their phone. And gym etiquette in theory behooves people to allow you to work in, which means you're going to share that machine for a moment. So you'd come up, the standard approach would be, hey, how many sets you got left? And the person will give you some arbitrary number. I've got 7 sets left. And you're like, can I work in? And they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm busy. They're, if they're being uncooperative. So the great sort of thing you have in your pocket is you can say, hey, I'm doing 1 set and I'll be out of your way in 60 to 90 seconds, right? And almost no one argues with that idea, right? They have to rest at some point for a moment. They can stand up, get out of the way. Now, this is especially true when you're working on selectorized machines where you can literally just pull a pin and change the weight easily. If you're talking about a power rack or a bench press, and this person is like in a totally different level of yours, this guy's just finished a set of like 315 on the bench, and you're going to do 90 pounds, and you have to pull all those plates off and then load them back on and all that. That's going to probably be not as good an option for either of you. So you need to think about that as well. If you're going to try to work in with someone who's, similar to your level.
But if you want to go totally alpha on him and that guy is benching 315, here's what you do is you do a warm-up set with his max. All right. So you take that 315 and you rep out 10 easy ones.
That's right.
All right. And then you tack on an extra plate on the outside, and your second set's 405. All right.
There we go.
We want those guys' eyes to look like dinner plates. And you're going to show everybody in the gym who's the top dog right off the bat.
That's the best story with remember Jim Schmitz, our friend Jim Schmitz used to own a gym in San Francisco called the Sports Palace, and a very legendary strength athlete named Ken Patera. The very first time he went in the gym, nobody knew who he was, but he was this huge guy, and he paid his little day fee, and he walked over to the squat rack, and this guy was like squatting like 400 pounds, and he said, "Can I work in?" Right, and everybody was like watching, like, oh, he's gonna just work in with a guy squatting 400 pounds, and then he did shoulder presses with. He did standing shoulder presses with 400 pounds. And everybody was just like dumbfounded. And needless to say, he went on to compete in the Olympics, world's strongest man, and all kinds of crazy things. But yeah, he was a freak, and that's unusual. But it would be fun if you could do that. I would love to. I personally can't say that I've ever walked in and done 10 reps with somebody else's max usually, but unless it was on the legs.
Yeah. So obviously we're joking. If you actually witness passive aggressive stuff like that happening at the gym, I don't know. If it's just one person, then maybe just steer clear of that person. But if it's sort of the culture, then I don't know. That's not really the type of gym I would want to be around. And I always, I like to think that when we were working at other gyms, we were kind of actively trying to shape an environment that was supportive. If you're a woman coming into a gym environment, I've had many female clients say that they experience not quite harassment, but definitely, like, I don't know, some dudes have egos and they feel like it's appropriate to just like give unsolicited tips and stuff like that to women, which is very strange.
Yeah, that does happen a lot.
Remember, guys, if you're listening to this, if she's wearing headphones, that is the international sign of don't talk to me. Yeah. I'm here to work out. Stay away. I'm doing my thing.
Exactly.
Don't.
And honestly, that goes both ways, right? If anybody's wearing headphones, they're trying to tell you that they're sticking inside their own little world. They don't need any attention or distractions. But yeah, it does. That's been a blatant example in my experience of, you just constantly see women getting unsolicited advice in the gym, no matter what. Or even if they seem to know what they're doing, they're just going to get, attention that they, whether they want it or not. If they look like beginners, they're going to get it. If they look like they're surprisingly adept, they're going to get it. So yeah, it's just leave people alone. Most people want to do their thing.
Yeah, probably not the place to be looking for dates.
But the other side of that is, hopefully it is a place where you can ask for help, right? And
true.
Ask for people if you need a spot, if you're working with free weights, don't be afraid to ask. Don't make sure you clarify things with people. If you don't know what a spot is, this is, you need to learn the lingo, right? Sometimes you're trying to lift heavy weights and you want to do it safely, and you might want someone to be keeping an eye on you. If I was there and I didn't know this person, and then you just randomly say, "Can you give me a spot?" and they say yes, if that's all the exchange there is, you can't guarantee this person is going to do a good job. So you want to make sure that you clarify exactly what that means to you, what you're looking for. Do you want them to touch it, not touch it? How close should they be? Do you want to be left alone unless you need the help? You need to just make all that clear. It only takes 30 seconds to get that information across, but you don't want to leave it to a stranger's hands to what their idea of a spot is. They might, again, be standing behind you looking at their phone until the bar's stuck on your neck, and suddenly people are trying to drag it off of you. That's not going to be a fun day.
Yeah, I think that covers it pretty well. I'll say, we advocate a pretty specific methodology here at TNT. As we've said a couple times, we recommend 2 full body workouts per week. We typically are doing 1 single set per exercise to momentary muscular failure. And what that looks like is, if you're just coming to this stuff, is you pick a weight that you can lift and lower about 10 times. You move it slowly. So maybe 3 to 5 seconds up, 3 to 5 seconds down. Just for example, there's no perfect pace, but just slowly so that you're keeping tension on the muscle. And then you move it until you can't move it anymore. So let's just say I'm on a chest press, machine. I'm gonna pick a weight I think I can do about 10 reps with. I'm gonna push it slowly up and lower it slowly down. And I'm gonna do as many of those as I can until I cannot lift the weight anymore. And once I've done that, I want to have a little bit of an idea, pretty accurate idea of how many reps I did or how long in minutes or seconds that set lasted, so I can record it and then come back to it next time and try to one up it. And frankly, if you are just aware of your performance from workout to workout, and you're just trying to just marginally improve upon things from workout to workout, it's a great formula for success. That it's what we do is not complicated. It's very simple. What is challenging is to stick with it long term. And that's why, we have a podcast is to talk about all the stuff that keeps people from starting and derails them from going. If you're doing, 2 workout, if you let's say you miss a month, right? But you're consistent the whole rest of the year, right? So you're doing, let's say there's 100 workouts in a year and you miss 8 of them, right? You still get an A if you make 92 workouts.
Yeah.
So when you get sick or you go on vacation or work gets crazy or whatever it is, just hop right back in the saddle.
Yeah. And again, we can't talk about this idea of just one-upping yourself and writing things down, right? Like we've jokingly said this in many, many episodes, that's the 30-second version of strength training. Pick a weight, move it as many times as you can safely, write it down. Next time, try to do more than you did last time.
Boom. You just got 36 years of experience from TAKU over here synthesized into one sentence.
Yeah, and that's really, there's no magic. As Jesse said, there's no special course, there's no special exercise, there's no special sets and rep schemes, there's no special sequence. There's none of that stuff matters. It's just consistency, progression, and making sure you're actually challenging yourself when you're in the moment. Do as many sets as you want to, as Jesse often says, as long as one of those sets is taken to failure, right? And failure means you cannot lift the weight again without, compromising your technique. You're literally trying, and it's positive failure. Positive failure means the lifting part of the motion, so not the lowering part. You will always reach positive failure first. That's true for everyone, and that's as far as you need to go. You don't need to try to go harder. You don't need to do extra if you don't want to. That's enough. And again, all you need is some kind of pushing movement, some kind of pulling movement, some kind of what we call level change, right? Going up and down, squats, lunges. Do one of each of those. Pick another one next time. It doesn't matter. Stick with the same ones. Again, no magic. Moment of silence.
That's it. Drop the mic. Walk away.
Boom, baby. What's up, people? Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Truth Not Trends. That's right here at TNT Strength Headquarters, Truth Not Trends.
Please, if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, rate, and review us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. And don't forget to share with a friend.
You can find us on the web at tntstrength.com.
That's right, TNT Strength now coming to you in person at 5255 College Avenue in Oakland, California. You can call the studio 510-768-5421. You can also text us at 855-796-9905.
Or shoot us an email at contact@tntstrength.com. And whatever you do, stay off of that stupid blue bubbly bosun.
Fuck you, San Diego.
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.
5 years ago, a team of scientists working at Uranus discovered a unique polyester. It had the rare combination of properties which would make it suitable for reaming, sheeting, molding, and cutting. It could be used as insulation, lubricant, construction material, and fuel. Among other characteristics, it had the strength of steel, the flexibility of rubber, and the nutritional value of beef stew. This revolutionary substance, developed at Uranus, is Brown 25. The variety of products which can be made from this incredible new material is unlimited. From a suspension bridge to a child's plaything, Brown 25 does the job and does it for less. Brown 25, another fine product from Uranus. At Uranus, things come out a little differently.